Congress is engaged in an ongoing debate on proposals to reduce the deficit. There is no question we need to get our fiscal house in order and put our nation on the path to long-term fiscal stability. The question is how. We must find a balanced approach that does not put undue burdens on our seniors and most vulnerable. Unfortunately, many of the deficit reduction proposals being debated would shred the social safety net. One area where that is starkly clear is with the Medicaid program, the state and federally funded health care plan for people struggling near the poverty line. The budget supported by House conservatives would impose steadily larger cuts in federal funding to state Medicaid programs, a cut approaching 33% by the 10th year. Medicaid programs across the country would lose billions of federal dollars if those cuts were enacted. This plan would not just cut Medicaid, but would fundamentally alter its very structure, turning it into a no-strings-attached block grant program. This approach would give governors a blank check for pet initiatives and a license to cut support for seniors and low-income kids. These are seniors who rely on Medicaid for nursing home care and people with disabilities who would be unable to live in the community without the care and support Medicaid provides. These are pregnant women who need prenatal care and children who count on Medicaid to help give them a healthy start in life. Walking away from the federal commitment to Medicaid doesn't solve the problem. It just passes health care costs down to states. Because almost every state is required by law to balance its budget every year, it means cuts in services and more financial strains for already suffering families, cuts in provider payments, lost jobs in the healthcare sector, and dampened business activity as the consequences of lost jobs and unmet healthcare needs ripple through the economy. A recent report released by Families USA looks at what the Medicaid cuts envisioned in the conservatives' House budget would mean for states in terms of lost jobs and business activity. The results are sobering. For example, if Maryland were to lose 33% of their Medicaid dollars, which is projected to happen in the 10th year, that would mean a loss of $1.6 billion in federal funds, $3.4 billion in state business activity, and roughly 27,000 jobs. That would be devastating. Such drastic cuts to state Medicaid programs across the country would be very harmful to our national economy. We should not allow this to happen. A landmark study recently conducted in Oregon found that Medicaid increases access and use of preventative services, improves health, provides greater financial security, and yields savings for providers. It is a program that helps pay for long-term care for seniors and people with disabilities, provides health care for mothers and children, and creates jobs for thousands of Americans. It's a program that helps us all. We must protect the nation from the devastating cuts that have been proposed to Medicaid. Instead of talking about Medicaid cuts, we should be talking about the expansion of Medicaid, which is set to happen under the Affordable Care Act. Shortly after the Supreme Court ruled that states can choose whether to adopt the health reform law's Medicaid expansion to cover low-income parents and other adults, some governors declared that they will forego the expansion, claiming it would place a heavy burden on their states. However, claims that states will bear a substantial share of the cost of expanding Medicaid and that the expansion would drain state budgets do not hold up under scrutiny. It is our responsibility to take care of the most vulnerable members of our society. Thank you.